God, we bear witness there's no God but God. We submit to Him.
All participants are muted,
And we
but
serve
may
Him alone.
unmute themselves.
Anything good that I say comes from God. God's the source of all good. This is also for all righteousness, and anything wrong or incorrect comes from myself. And this is something we learn in Quran in chapter 4, verse 79. Today, inshallah, I want to talk about a topic that I think is very important because it gives us different perceptions about individuals and about ourselves. So, and it has to do with what we consider to be knowledge. To kind of help us understand what I mean, I want us to think about like your favorite movie. Like everybody has like a favorite movie they watched. My particular favorite movie is The Dark Knight. It's the Dark Knight trilogy. And I really enjoy that movie because I think I just really like Batman because it resonates with me, right? Because he's so committed, he's self-disciplined, he's resourceful. You know, he uses all his technologies to change the world. And he uses what he has to fight crime. And he's just a human being. He's not like with superpowers or whatever. So I really like that character. And even if I was to take a Batman class and learn everything about that character, learn all the facts about this fictional character, would I be considered knowledgeable about Batman? Would I be a knowledgeable person about Batman? If I knew all the things about his story, even about the backstory, about the authors and so forth, and the creator who came up with Batman and what year he came up with it and when it was published for the first time and so forth and so on. If I did all those things, would you consider me an individual who is knowledgeable about Batman? The English definition of knowledgeable is intelligent and well-informed. So by this definition, I will be knowledgeable about Batman because I knew all these facts about him. I knew all these facts about his character. I knew all these facts about this particular story. But sometimes the way we apply our definition to things is not necessarily one-to-one when we come to understanding the guidance of the Quran. For example, if I read in the Quran in chapter 35, verse 28, it says, also, the people, the animals, the livestock come in various colors. This is why the people who truly reverence God are those who are knowledgeable. It says, this is why those who truly reverence God are those who are knowledgeable. God is almighty forgiving. So in this verse here, when it says people who truly reverence God are those who are knowledgeable, does it mean that those who have the most facts about God or the most facts about livestock, animals, and people are the most reverent? Does it mean that the amount of knowledge you have about these things, the facts, how well informed you are, makes you the most reverent or reverent? Would it be fair to assume that your level of reverence to God is based strictly on your reverence, on your amount of knowledge you have about something? There's a profound difference between knowledge and facts, knowledge and information, and I was reminded of this in the video that I watched the other day. And today, we will understand the true definition from the Quranic perspective of who are the knowledgeable in the Quran, so that we could try to elevate ourselves, maintain it, and see how we could achieve it. Studying the Quran carefully gives us insight on the meaning of what it means to be knowledgeable. Why? Because there are vital components about knowledge, if absent within the individual, makes it the opposite of being knowledgeable. And the Quran teaches us with stories, with historical events in the past. For example, understanding what knowledge really is and the meaning of it, we can look at the story of Moses and that servant. This is in chapter 18, verse 65, verse 82. It says in that chapter, they found one of our servants. So after Moses was walking with one of his servants, one of his helpers or so forth, and they had lost the fish and they went to the river and they found it and they came back. Then while going through that process, they found one of our servants, one of God's servants, who was blessed with mercy and what? Bestowed upon him from our knowledge. So Moses came across an individual who was a servant of God who was bestowed with knowledge. Moses said to him, "Can I follow you so that you may teach me some of the what? Knowledge and the guidance bestowed upon you?" He said, "You cannot stand to be with me." How can you stand that which you cannot comprehend? What did he not comprehend? Think about that. He said, you will find me, God willing, patient. I will not disobey any command you give me. He said, "If you follow me, then you shall not ask me about anything unless I choose to tell you about it." So they went. When they boarded the ship, he bore a hole in it. He said, "Did you bore a hole in it to drown its people? You have committed something terrible." This is what Moses said to the individual. The individual replied, he says, "Did I not say that you cannot stand to be with me?" Moses then said, "I'm sorry. Don't punish me for my forgetfulness. Do not be too harsh with me." So they went on. So they went. When they met a young boy, he killed him. He said, "Why did you kill such an innocent person who did not kill another person? You have committed something horrendous." He said, "Did I not tell you that you cannot stand to be with me?" Notice, he already warned Moses at the beginning. So now he's reiterating his warnings. He said, Moses said, "If I ask you about anything else, then do not keep me with you. You have seen enough apologies from me." So they went on. When they reached a certain community, they asked the people for food, but they refused to host them. Soon they found a wall about to collapse, and he fixed it. So the person with Moses fixed the wall. He said, Moses said, "You could have demanded a wages for that. Could have demanded some payment for what you just did." So then the individual said, "Now we have to part company, but I will explain to you everything that you cannot stand." So now he's going to explain everything that he could not stand, that Moses did not understand and comprehend. As for the ship, now he goes on explaining, "It belongs to a poor fisherman, and I wanted to render it defective. A king was coming after them, who was confiscating every ship forcibly. As for the boy, his parents was good believers, and we saw that he was going to burden them with his transgression and disbelief. He was going to be a tyrant. We will that your Lord substitute in his place another son who is better in righteousness and kindness. As for the wall, it belongs to 2 orphans in the city. Under it there is a treasure that belongs to them. Because their father was a righteous man, your Lord wanted them to grow up and obtain full strength, then extract their treasure. Such is the mercy from your Lord. I did none of that on my own volition." This is the explanation of the things that you could not understand or could not stand. So here, the individual was bestowed with knowledge upon him. That individual knew some facts. Remember that. He knew some facts. What's the fact? He knew the king was coming after them and was confiscating people's boats. He knew that this particular child was going to grow into a tyrant. He knew that there's a particular treasure underneath a wall that belonged to the 2 orphan kids. He knew these facts. Now, ask yourself this question. Just because he knew those facts, did that make him knowledgeable? Because he knew this information? Does that make him a knowledgeable individual? Was he blessed with knowledge because he knew that facts? Imagine if you know all these things about different things in different science fields and different subjects in health. You know, like imagine if you knew everything about your anatomy, your physiology, or everything about business, or everything about money and finances, or everything about stocks, and you never used it. You knew all these facts, but you never used it. Are you knowledgeable? According to the Quran? Are you knowledgeable? Simply based on this story, the answer is no. Why? Because he knew all these facts, but he demonstrated certain things he did because of that knowledge. Knowing facts doesn't make you knowledgeable. Knowing information doesn't make you knowledgeable. If the servant knew all these things and didn't do anything, he wouldn't have been described as being blessed with knowledge. You only know better when you do better, right? So when God mentions being knowledgeable in the Quran and being a people of knowledge, or being a knowledgeable person, it doesn't mean someone who knows a lot of facts. It means they have applied knowledge. They have some information, they have wisdom, and they apply it in the real world. They apply it to their lives. They apply it to other people's lives. Like the example of this story with Moses. So the English definition can be a bit misleading because it takes away that applied aspect to the knowledge. That to be knowledgeable is to be one who applies the knowledge and wisdom that they're given. That's who is truly knowledgeable. It means that they use it and they apply it to the betterment of themselves and the betterment of others. Like the example of that, where he helped the person with the boat, where he helped the parents of that child, where he helped the orphans. They used it for the betterment of others. He applied the knowledge. That's what it means to be truly knowledgeable. Consider Joseph. Think about Joseph. In chapter 12, verse 44, it says, they were asked about the dreams. Someone came, asked these prisoners, I believe, if I remember the full story. And this is in context to that. And they're replying to that request about, well, what does these dreams mean, and so forth, from the Pharaoh, from the king. And this is chapter 12, verse 44. It says, they said, nonsense dreams. Nonsense dreams. It says, when it comes to interpretation of dreams, we are not knowledgeable. What do they mean? They are not knowledgeable. Well, look what Joseph did with that information. Joseph didn't know facts about dreams. He just didn't know information about dreams. He applied that information to the betterment of himself, his community, and others. Because he understood what the king dreams, he applied it. He went and saved the community in Egypt at that time from scarcity and loss of crops and lives. He was knowledgeable about dreams. He didn't just know facts about dreams. He didn't just know information about dreams. He knew how to apply it and use it to the betterment of himself and others around him. When God says in chapter 30, verse 22, among his proofs are the creation of the heavens and the earth and the variations of your languages and your colors. In these, there are signs for the knowledgeable. What does he mean when he says that? In these things that you can witness, there are signs for the knowledgeable. Signs are evidence, proof, and things that can be used and applied for the benefit of others. Humanity and creation. That is what makes you knowledgeable. So when you go and you understand these things, and understand what these things mean and how to really utilize it, and then you apply that, then you become someone who's knowledgeable. That's why there's countless proofs and evidence that can be used towards the help and the betterment of all humanity in the heavens and the earth. It's not about knowing facts about the sun, for example. I can know everything about the sun. I can know all these different facts about the sun, how hot it is, how big it is, how fast it goes around the earth. I mean, how fast it goes around the center of the Milky Way. I can know all these facts, all these solar flares and all these things. But that doesn't make me knowledgeable. A knowledgeable person about the sun is those who understand the sun and then make solar energy from it. solar panels so that it could benefit other people, so they can have energy and resources for. That is the knowledgeable, not the one who just knows facts about things. Those who use the knowledge and convert it and transform it to something for others to benefit from, to learn from, to grow from, for that all of humanity can benefit from it. Those who take the facts about the sun and make solar energy and convert it into electricity. Not just knowing facts about it. So inshallah, I want us to think about that, and in the second part of the khutbah we elaborate to Allah, repent to God. Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah. So what does that mean? It means that to truly be knowledgeable, if you want to claim to be knowledgeable, you have to apply what you know. Not just knowing these facts, not just knowing information, but you have to apply what you know. So don't feel confident or don't brag because you could recite certain verses of the Quran in Arabic, but you don't know what it means. And then on top of that, not only do you don't know what it means, but you don't know how to apply it in your life. Then how can you say you're truly knowledgeable about it? There's one person who knows one verse in the Quran and they could apply that entirely in their entire life, successfully. That is more knowledgeable than somebody who knows who memorized the entire Quran from front to back. Applying the knowledge of the Quran to purify yourself for betterment and for the advancement of yourself and the people in the community around you is what makes you knowledgeable. Just memorizing facts or memorizing rituals or memorizing these things don't make you knowledgeable. So we should aim, God willing, to try to be knowledgeable in the true sense of how the Quran advocates it. To be one who sees the sign in creation, sees all these signs in creation, understand who God is through these signs, and understand how can I use these things that I know to benefit those around me, benefit my community, benefit humanity, and benefit myself. Right? This is why God says, and out of all the things in the beginning of the chapter, in chapter 2, verse 2, he says, and out of things, those who believe in the unseen, maintain their salat, and out of the things that's given to them, they contributed. So the things that they're given and they're blessed with, they contributed, right? And I'll end with this verse here. In chapter 20, verse 114, it says, most exalted is God, the only true king. The only true king. And it continues, it said, do not rush into uttering the Quran before it is revealed to you. It said, don't rush between uttering the Quran before it is revealed to you. And say, look what God says to say. And say, my Lord, increase my knowledge. Increase my knowledge. Give me the understanding so that I could apply the wisdom that was given to me, the guidance that was given me, the signs that I see that I could apply for the benefit of all. All praise belong to God. Aquib.